This video is not a lecture about how to live your life kind of thing. It's just me sharing where I'm at in case you're in a similar position or want to be in a similar position. Context about myself: I'm 31 years old. I moved to Toronto, Canada in 2021, and I'm in the journey of finding freedom. So I would just recommend listen to this video while you're doing laundry that you have been putting off, or the dishes, or cooking dinner. Just let me keep you company. Today I'm chasing something I never used to prioritize, and that was freedom. A goal that looks nothing like the goal I used to envision when I first graduated as an architect. I honestly thought I was doing everything right. I was following the plan. I was lucky my parents were able to support my architecture studies. I graduated in Colombia when I was just 20 years old. I was full of energy and dreams, ready to dive into the corporate world. So I found my first job. I worked hard. I asked for a raise. I got the raise, then moved to another company for a better salary, and realized that's how the game was played. You switch jobs, you get better salary. So I kept doing that. Then my brother moved to New York. I spent 1 year there. I was trying to learn English. I explored the place, and I just fall in love with the idea of something different. And when I went back to Colombia, I just couldn't see what I had experienced. But I don't want to be tough on my own city and my own country, but I was just tired of constantly feeling unsafe, tired of the fear on the streets. So I knew I needed a plan to live somewhere else. And that's how Canada became the goal, where I could work, study, feel safe, and just make a life there. But getting there, that took time, a lot of paperwork, savings. So I had to go back to work while I was waiting for all of that. And that's why I did for some time. And then 2020 happened. At that time, I was managing a construction project of a retail store. And then the first call from my employee: sorry, everything is shutting down. You're laid off until further notice. So as you can tell, no pay, no help, no plan, nothing. And weirdly, that's when everything started to shift. Because for the first time in forever, I finally had time. I was finally free of doing everything I wanted to. I was anxious, sure, because no income, but I also felt this sense of freedom, and that was confusing. I always had this idea of starting a furniture brand. I knew local manufacturers who were also left out of job because of the shutdown, and I thought maybe now is the time to do that. People in Colombia, they feel very comfortable buying things on Instagram, so I went for it. I created renders of around 5 designs of coffee tables and other decor pieces and posted them. I planned what I could make, how I would price it, and after 2 months, I started to gain some following. And then someone bought a coffee table. And then another one asked for a custom piece. And then that's how the business started to grow and grow. And little by little, it became real. It became my full-time job. The most valuable thing was that I was able to do all of that while I was free. So I could take my dad to the doctor. I could walk my dog in the morning. I could enjoy a slow morning routine, take a nap at 3 p.m. if I wanted to. And I wasn't basically trapped in one place. Then 3 months later, construction sites reopened, and then I got this call from my employer saying that they were ready for me to come back and finish the project. It was almost like nothing happened. No one even asked if I was okay, if I was able to eat for the last couple of months. And that's when it hit me. In the corporate world, you are indispensable until you are not. And that sense of security is not true. At least it just wasn't for me. And to their call, I just said that I was not available anymore. Eventually, even though everything was going great with business, my plan to move to Canada was a non-negotiable. And I did it. I moved to Canada, and I knew that I had to start over again. And that's what I did. In Canada, I was a college student working as a server, barely making it. Then I worked hard to build a professional profile so I could land a job in architecture in Canada. Fast forward a bit, I did it. I found an entry-level job, and then I got the job that I was doing before I left to Colombia, where I was making around 95K. So I was working full-time from 8 to 5, but even though I was exhausted with no energy, I still tried every single day after work, working on all of my ideas that I had when I was working at the office. So I promised myself that I was going to find the highest paying job I could find, save up, and give myself 1 full year to figure out what kind of life I really want to live in North America on my own terms. So after a couple of years, I finally became permanent resident of Canada. I saved money and I came back to Colombia, but this time to a different city. So why was that? Because with my savings, I couldn't afford to stay jobless in Canada for a year and living in downtown Toronto. But there's a lot of cities in South America where you can actually achieve that. And Medellin looked like the perfect place to do that. I want to explore ideas, learn new skills, reconnect with what excites me, and build a life where time is my own, where work can feel challenging but very rewarding, and where I can work from anywhere. I want to focus my energy on the projects that really excite me. I want to have the discipline to grow, but the flexibility to breathe. And I know that one day I will decide to live in a different country, even if it's just for 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, who knows? Or be free enough to take time off to be with my family, or if I just want to slow down, enjoy a long breakfast, work late, sleep in. That's the life I'm trying to build. So it's been 2 months since I started this chapter. And is it working? Some days, yes. Some others, I panic. But honestly, what's the worst case scenario? It's going back to where I started. And I have already been there. I have been already in the corporate world. So I know that there's nothing to lose. And that's the story of why and how I'm pursuing freedom in my 30s in Medellin, Colombia.